Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Get ready to dive into a world where every story has a twist, every moment has a meaning, and you are part of the journey. Whether you're here for the thrill, the emotion, or just to escape into something new, this is the place for you. So sit back, relax, and let me take you on a ride through stories that will make you think, feel, and maybe even see the world a little differently. Welcome to a story where love burns bright, but shadows always lurk nearby. In this world, hearts connect, secrets unfold, and not everything, or everyone, is what they seem. This isn't just another tale. It's a journey through passion, betrayal, and fear, where every choice has consequences, and trust can be the most dangerous game of all. So if you're ready for twists that will keep you guessing, emotions that hit deep, and a story that refuses to let go, hit that subscribe button and let's begin. I never thought love could lead me somewhere so dark. It started with trust, blind, wholehearted trust in a man I called my boyfriend. We'd been together for a while and I believed he loved me. I believed he respected me. But I didn't see the manipulation behind the charm, or the way he used my loyalty to serve his own desires. One night, everything changed. He told me he had a crazy idea. He laughed it off like a joke at first, but then he got serious. He wanted me to sleep with his best friend. At first, I was confused, then shocked. I told him no. I said it didn't feel right. But he kept talking, convincing, twisting my words and emotions. He made it seem like it was something for us, that it would bring us closer, that it was a fantasy, harmless, even exciting. But none of it was for me. It was for him. I didn't want it. But part of me felt trapped, like if I didn't do it, I'd lose him, like I'd disappoint him. So I gave in, even though every part of me screamed inside. When it happened, I wasn't really there. My body was, but I felt empty, disconnected. My eyes were open, but my heart was shut down. I kept thinking, how did I end up here? Why is the person who says he loves me letting this happen to me? Afterward, he smiled like it was some accomplishment, like I'd done something for him to be proud of. But I didn't feel proud. I felt used, broken, like a piece of me had been taken away for his ego, his entertainment, his selfishness. And now I'm left picking up the pieces, trying to understand how someone I trusted could push me into something that hurt me so deeply. This is my story, not to shame, not to seek attention, but to take my power back, to say, I mattered, my voice mattered, my consent mattered. Even if he chose to ignore all of that, I didn't cry that night, not at first. I think my body was in shock, numb from the weight of what just happened. I laid beside him afterward, him smiling, scrolling through his phone like everything was normal, like I hadn't just been broken in front of him. He didn't ask me how I felt. He didn't check in on me. There was no, are you okay, or did that feel wrong to you? He didn't need to ask because he already knew. And he chose to ignore it. Days passed and I tried to act like I was okay. I smiled. I laughed when I had to. But inside, I was slipping further away from myself. I'd look in the mirror and not recognize the person staring back. I started questioning everything, my worth, my voice, even my right to feel violated. He made it seem like I had a choice, but what kind of choice is it when love is held over your head like a weapon? I started replaying our past, little moments where he made me feel like I wasn't enough, like I had to prove myself, like I had to earn his love in ways that chipped away at me bit by bit. I realized this wasn't just one night of selfishness, this was a pattern. This was a man who loved control more than he ever loved me. And worst of all, I hated myself for going along with it, for not screaming no louder, for not walking out. But I've come to understand something. What happened wasn't my fault. It wasn't about weakness. It was about manipulation. He used my love and loyalty as weapons. That's not love. That's abuse dressed in charm. I'm writing this now because I refuse to carry his shame anymore. I refuse to let silence protect him and punish me. My voice is mine again, and every word I write is a step back to myself. If you've ever been through something like this, I see you, I believe you, and you deserve healing too, because love should never make you feel like you owe someone your body. Love should never hurt like this. The more I sat with the pain, the more I realized I couldn't stay silent, not for him, and not for the version of myself I wanted to become. I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay just to protect the man who broke me. So one evening, I looked him in the eyes and asked him why. Why did he make me do that? Why did he put his fantasy over my safety over us? He shrugged. He said things like, "You didn't say no," and "You said you'd try it." As if those words erased the discomfort in my eyes. As if coercion somehow meant consent. That's when I truly saw him. Not the man I fell for, but the man he had always been. Selfish, entitled, emotionally cold. I realized he didn't love me. He loved control. He loved getting what he wanted, no matter the cost. And I had been the cost. So I told him I was done, that I couldn't unsee the truth anymore, that what he did wasn't love, it was betrayal. I packed my things. My hands trembled, but my heart felt a flicker of something I hadn't felt in a long time, strength. Walking away wasn't easy. The nights were quiet, and the silence screamed. The memories haunted me. But slowly I started to feel myself returning. I cried, I journaled, I talked to people I trusted. And with each step, I began to shed the shame that was never mine to carry. Now when I look in the mirror, I see someone who survived. Someone who finally said, enough. Someone who's learning to love herself again, not because of a man, but in spite of one. This story isn't just mine. It belongs to every girl who's ever been pushed into something she didn't want, every woman who thought love meant sacrifice, and every person who stayed silent out of fear or guilt. But not anymore. This is me, reclaiming my voice. And this time, no one gets to use it but me. Healing didn't happen overnight. Some mornings I woke up feeling strong. Other days I couldn't get out of bed. I'd hear his voice in my head, feel the echo of that night creeping back into my body. Shame would knock on the door of my thoughts, whispering things like, maybe it was your fault, maybe you led him on, or maybe you're just being dramatic. But those weren't my thoughts. They were his words, his manipulation, still trying to live in my mind, rent-free. I started writing more, letting the pain spill out onto pages I never thought I'd show anyone. I gave myself permission to feel everything, rage, sadness, grief, even numbness, because healing isn't neat. It's messy and non-linear. But every time I chose to feel instead of hide, I reclaimed another piece of myself. I stopped blaming myself. I stopped asking what I could have done differently. Because the truth is, I should never have been put in that position to begin with. My body isn't a test. My love isn't a transaction. And my silence was not consent. One of the hardest parts was learning how to trust again, especially myself, to believe in my instincts, to stand firm in my no, to know that my boundaries are not negotiable just because someone calls themselves my boyfriend. Over time, I met people who saw my pain and didn't look away. People who listened, who reminded me I wasn't alone. Survivors, warriors, friends, each one adding light to the parts of me that still felt dark. And now, I speak louder. I take up more space. I don't apologize for what I've been through because it's not a stain on my story. It's proof that I survived. What he did may always be a chapter in my life, but he will never be the ending. I've carried the weight of that night long enough, but now I'm setting it down. Not because it didn't matter, but because I matter more. I'm not the girl who let it happen. I'm the woman who survived it, who faced the truth, who walked away even when her heart was still bleeding. I didn't need closure from him. I found it in myself, in my voice, in my choice to choose me. There are still scars, but they remind me that I endured something I never should have had to, and still rose. If someone reads this and sees themselves in my words, I hope they know you are not alone. What happened to you is not your fault, and you don't have to carry it in silence. You deserve real love, the kind that doesn't hurt, doesn't manipulate, doesn't ask you to break yourself to prove your loyalty. Love that doesn't demand your body to validate someone's ego. This story isn't about him anymore. It's about me, about reclaiming my body, my mind, my heart, and walking forward, not broken, but whole, free. Moral lesson. Love should never come at the cost of your dignity, your voice, or your consent. True love honors boundaries, respects choices, and protects your well-being. When someone uses love to manipulate or control you, that is not love. It is abuse. You have the right to say no, to walk away, and to reclaim your power. Your body, your heart, and your story belong to you alone.